class. How you doing? It's your boy Astro, as you know.
It's back. The Astro Einstein School of Astrology is happy to bring to you the Spring 2024 Beginner's Astrology course. Here's where it all begins. And now returning, the exciting intermediate level. For the stellar students who have graduated the beginner's course and want to learn more, it's your time.
I'm here to share the amazing experience I had taking Astro's Einstein Beginner's Astrology course.
My experience, I came in only really knowing about my sun sign. I was in a class with people who knew their whole natal chart. I was a little intimidated.
You know, we learning new things, new ways, new exciting things that other people are really learning. So
I just want to share that if you're looking for somebody to invest in so that way you become well-renowned in astrology, these are going to be the classes to take, which is with Astro.
The ways I've grown and just understanding myself, my son, my family, the world, how I show up in the world, it's truly impacted me. And I would highly recommend, if you want to know more about yourself, more about how things work.
I had the opportunity to learn a lot about myself, my personality, why I'm the way I am in this lifetime.
I'm going to continue to keep taking the classes because it's astrology. The sky's the limit, and he's an amazing teacher.
if you're into these type of things, if you love these type of things, I definitely highly recommend you join the class. I'm actually going to be taking a course next semester. I'm getting back in.
I cannot wait to go to intermediate and beyond. I feel extremely fulfilled. So 10 out of 10, I recommend.
It's just a beautiful experience. What are you waiting for? Sign up, enroll. You're missing out.
Now that you've heard it from our stellar students, why wait? Register today. And be sure to visit the website for more information and other services. We look forward to seeing you in class soon.
What's good? What's good? A beautiful grand setting. I know, I come at you with the midnight info. Where you at is probably midnight or it's going to be close to it. And as you know, I've been on this journey of discovering very influential Black people. 100, actually. Influential Black people. Now, this isn't just for Black people because I do astrology for everybody. It doesn't matter. And for that reason alone, well, I'm doing J. Edgar Hoover, the great head of the FBI agency, chart. But there's a deeper reasoning behind me choosing to do his chart. You see, we just passed a Black History Month, based upon the fact that we had Martin Luther King Jr. Day, and we celebrate his experience, his life. And J. Edgar Hoover happened to be his biggest rivalry. There is a conspiracy that he, with the MK Ultra program, ordered the hit of Martin Luther King Jr. and many other well-known people who were going to change the world and revolutionize. Okay? You'll excuse that. That's the ice cream man. So I was like, okay. All right. Seemed like an interesting guy. Come to find out, when digging deep into it, I found out that the man J. Edgar Hoover, this guy right here, I'm going to show you the picture right now. This man here, J. Edgar Hoover, was responsible for the interrogation and, to some degree, humiliation of Black reformers, including Martin Luther King Jr. He not only was a person that was of interest for this guy, apparently J. Edgar Hoover investigated everybody, politicians, celebrities. He tapped everybody. He kept a secret file on everybody. As a matter of fact, it is well known that he kept the government's most largest pornography like file ever in existence. This man had everybody naked. Every picture you could name naked, he had the largest file of pornography. He saw everybody naked. That's right. That dude was dangerous. And y'all gonna see when I pull up his chart, you're gonna be like, this dude was destined for excellence. But I didn't mention the most trivial thing. Apparently, J. Edgar Hoover was a Black man. He was half Black and half white. Apparently, when you dig deeper into it, when you look at his pictures, you're going to say, damn, I don't know how we didn't see it. Okay? I don't know how we didn't see it. But J. Edgar Hoover was born New Year's Day, 1895, in Washington, D.C., to his parents. His parents was Anna Marie and Dickerson Naylor Hoover. Anna Marie. Now, I can't think of any other Black slave name that's stronger than Anna Marie. But when you look at her, she ain't got no white woman butt. I don't care what y'all say, that ain't just a dress. And when you look, she got baby hair. I don't see much white people with baby hair. She got baby hair. Y'all think I'm just, look, okay? I just want to zoom in a little closer. Look, the woman had baby hair. Now, I know she could pass for a white person, but look at that nose. No. I know she got some that woman was a Black woman. I don't care what y'all say. You hear me? Okay? I don't care what y'all say. That woman was a Black woman. Okay? The phrase of it is, like said, is mulatto. She was definitely mulatto. And let me tell you something. That little butt right there, that was no white butt. I don't care what you say. Looking at more pictures. Definitely not. Definitely not a white woman. But I can't see how we conceived from the beginning. Because when you look at his pictures, does that really look like a white man? Can you definitively say, by looking at these pictures, that that's a truly white boy? You can't say that. You cannot. Try it. Look, which one of these pictures screams white boy at you? Now that I put it in your head, you can't unsee it now, can you? You can't unsee that man was clearly a black man. Yes, I'm saying it. That man was a black man. You hear me? So isn't it ironic that the very man that fought against desegregation and that fought against the movement of blacks was actually a black man? We getting so much conspiracies up in here, up in here. Like, what the hell? You see, even racism is false. We also have evidence that Dwight Eisenhower was a black president. Y'all thought Obama? Oh, wait, that's another topic we go. Y'all thought Obama was the only first black? Dwight Eisenhower was a black man. You didn't know that, did you? And even for him, he wasn't the first black president. Abraham Lincoln was a black man. Y'all been lied to your whole life. Your whole goddamn life, y'all been lied to. Racism is false. I mean, it's real to y'all because they created it. Okay? But we gonna finish on with J. Edgar Hoover because we about to unload a lot of shit. So J. Edgar Hoover, as we know him, he was, like I said, born in January 1st, 1895 in Washington, D.C. And his father was like the chief of the printing division of the United States Coast and Geodetic Survey. He was formerly a plate maker for the same organization. Dickinson Hoover was of English and German ancestry. So that means that he was, German and English. But his maternal grand uncle, maternal great grand uncle, not grand, was John Hitz, a Swiss honorary consul general to the United States, which means that in order for them to find a white person that was significant, they had to go to a great uncle, not great grandfather, not grandfather, not father, not great 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 grand, a great grand uncle. The other conspiracy part about this, J. Edgar Hoover didn't have a birth certificate until he was 39, going on 40. There was no registration of his birth. It's because they was afraid that this child will be ostracized as a mixed child. Okay? That's not, we're not even touching that. We're not even to the tip of the iceberg, y'all. We ain't even I'm gonna get to it. Just all right. Now, he was, for some apparent reason, he was raised to the rank of head of the FBI, which was the BOI, which is the Bureau of Investigation. Okay. He served underneath 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6 presidents. That's 6 times 4. You hear me? The man Well, not times 4, because some of those presidents stayed for 8 years. The man was in charge of the FBI for over 40 years. The president who put him in charge was Calvin Coolidge. Now, I want y'all to understand Calvin Coolidge, because even Calvin Coolidge had black roots. They've been lying to y'all this whole goddamn time. This whole time, y'all. This whole time. Now, there are more things that I need to give you, because I'm going to fill you up with knowledge about this whole thing, this whole experience of J. Edgar Hoover. As you know, J. Edgar Hoover also, like, he tapped MLK's phones and everything, and he actually, what he did was he threatened Martin Luther King Jr. about all of the sexual alliances that Martin Luther King Jr. had. Now, Martin Luther King Jr. was really, really, he did that thing. He was a pastor, and he ate it like it was a pasta. I'm just saying, with all due respect, he was that man in bed, allegedly. Where my tinfoil hat is? I need my tinfoil hat. Allegedly, y'all don't come for me. No government. Allegedly, like Keisha said, allegedly. Don't y'all come for me. So allegedly, after the FBI had they had to open up their stuff and show what they were doing over the years, and it is actually in written paper. It was documented that they did this to him. Okay, that they literally just tapped all of his stuff and talked about his life, about how much women he had, that he was a beast, and yeah, it was just amazing the kind of information that J. Edgar Hoover had on not just Martin Luther King Jr., but everybody. He was a beast. But there are some dark stories to J. Edgar Hoover's life. One of those was that he himself was in a secret relation. And his secret relation was with a man. His actual deputy, Clyde Tolson. Now, Clyde Tolson was the right-hand man, or I should say, right-hand of J. Edgar Hoover. J. Edgar Hoover, they say was married. But I want you to see something, This is how they were. Now, they were always together, always seen together. They were actually caught, allegedly, by one of the secretaries. Now, J. Edgar Hoover had a thing about women. And J. Edgar Hoover did not like women in the FBI. As a matter of fact, he did not hire any agents that were female. There was not one woman agent until after J. Edgar Hoover, 2 months after he died. Allegedly, this is facts. So allegedly, he had a discriminative thing about women. Well, there was a reason for that. There was a strong reason. And there's an allegation going on that J. Edgar Hoover was a cross-dresser. Okay? Y'all saw that? I mean, obviously that's photoshopped. But the internet is something else. I'll give you another picture. I know that's also a fake one. But when you're sitting down like this, mm-mm. I don't know what y'all thinking. Y'all thinking, well, that's normal. Men normally cross their legs. That's a lie. That's a Liz eye. You hear me? That's a lie. When I see men cross their legs like that and they come on now. Come the hell on. It's like he has some hair and some invisible hair that he's trying to. Yeah. Mm-mm. I want to bring rise to his best friend and guy friend. You know, this is him and his partner in crime sitting next to each other. This is them at an event. He might as well sit in this man's lap. You hear me? He might as well just be like, come here, baby. We don't care what the world thinks about us. Let's just be. So when I look at this chart, when I look at the guy and I look at his chart, obvious that this man had some secrets that were in the closet. Okay, but I don't see how y'all and us didn't see it. Now, for those who are getting upset that, I'm talking about this man and you feel like, you feel related to the guy and I'm tarnishing his reputation, I have this to say to you. Who gives a shit? But looking at his pictures, like I told you before, it's really hard to look past the fact that this man is a black man. Even when standing next to prominent white men, there is still something that's off about him. And we're going to look at it. You hardly see him smile. Right there, that's the most, if that ain't the most blackest white man that I've ever seen, I don't know what is. Okay? We're just giving you pictures just so you could make your own assessment. Now, I know you say, well, where's the baby pictures? Okay, we got one here. There he is. I got a little cousin look just like him. Look just like the guy. Now, so for this reason, we are talking about J. Edgar Hoover, that, he's actually a black man. Now, we're going to get to his chart. As you know, he was very, very secretive. He held on to power very long after he died. The crazy part about it, he literally said that Martin Luther King Jr. was the biggest liar and he was his biggest enemy. And I think he wanted Martin Luther King Jr.'s life. He wanted it for himself. I think he had a secret obsession with Martin Luther. He hoped that Martin Luther King Jr. was flipping fat pancakes. If you get where I'm coming from, he would have hoped that. I think this is allegedly, this is what my opinion. And it's so funny that the only thing that was named after J. Edgar Hoover was a low-level building. And Martin Luther King Jr. have a whole holiday named after him. Streets everywhere. States. That's why people be hating on you, and they could try to kill your reputation. But as long as you stick and stay with what you were born to do, they could never take away your dynasty or your legacy. This was a pure case of black on black crime. It is noted that he was a racist. No. He was keeping the charade up of pretending to be a white man. So now that we know the basis of it, I didn't go into all the details because there's so much more. But we ain't got all that time, especially for a black man that pretended to be white and allegedly tried to bring down the other black men. And I see it happening up to this day. Up to this day. Of trying to tear down men, black men in general, out of insecurity within their own selves. It's got to stop. So let's take a look at this chart. And J. Edgar Hoover was born January 1st, 1985, 7:30 a.m., Washington, D.C. That's Washington, District of Columbia. And as you can see, his sun is in Capricorn. So is his ascendant. As a matter of fact, it's on the 10th degree. Now, I want y'all to understand the 10th degree. The 10th degree, or the 1 degree, has the energy of 1, meaning leadership. Okay? And it's sitting in the sign of Capricorn that rules government. He has a sun almost exactly, only a couple of minutes off, conjunct his ascendant, which means that he was going to be seen and known as a leading, because the first house and the number 1, government, which is represented by Capricorn, official. Okay? If you didn't know, also Mercury rules information. So he also dealt with information, investigation, information for the government. That's 5 degrees, which means it's conjunct the sun and it's conjunct the ascendant. Okay? Now, I know you're thinking like, okay, so Asher, what about the cross-dressing that they speak about? Is it in his chart? Do you see it anywhere? And I want to say yes. As a matter of fact, he had Bacchus. Bacchus, that's the asteroid that rules excess addiction, attempts to manage feelings, people, and situations through substance or avoidance, contact with orchids, pine trees, and intoxication. He had his Bacchus conjunct Venus, Venus ruling the female energy, the first house representing the physical body. He was addicted to dressing in female clothing. Secretively, though, because Capricorn is ruled by Saturn, and his Saturn was in Scorpio. So, of course, it was in his chart. It's there, point blank. Now, remember we talked about how someone becomes famous? When the ruler of the first house and the first house he has Capricorn there, is sitting in the 10th house right here. It's sitting conjunct the MC or sitting in the 10th house. In his case, his Saturn is conjunct his MC. That's normally a clear indication of somebody who's going to leave a legacy, especially when it's Saturn. When the ruler of the ascendant is conjunct the MC, especially the planet Saturn, this represents a legacy being left. Okay. And guess what? What sign you think represents investigation? That's right. Scorpio. Psychology, investigation, all them other programs that he helped to fund, like the MK Ultra and all these secret other organizations and within the FBI, is what he is known for. He left a legacy. Saturn brings legacy, especially when conjunct the MC. What about his cross-dressing? Now, I want also with the cross-dressing and the how should I put it? The desire for, both male and female sexually is connected to the dark moon Lilith in Aquarius. You see, dark moon Lilith represents the most deep, dark, sexual side of oneself. And it's an occurring theme in natal charts that I've done before, and many of them. It is not saying that this is an absolute truth. I will say that maybe about 78 to 80% of people that have dark moon Lilith in Aquarius normally don't have any restrictions. They delve into unconventional sexual experiences. That normally means that going against the grain. No boundaries when it comes to that sex. They get it how to get it, and they get it how to get it. Normally, I've seen people who have dark moon Lilith in Aquarius or dark moon Lilith in the 11th house being someone who desires the same sex and opposite sex. Bisexuality is normally, or what I say, non-binary, is normally an indication of dark moon Lilith in Aquarius. So you're asking the question, do I feel as if, yeah, I truly feel like that's what it was for him. I also feel that way because his dark moon Lilith is actually square Uranus. Okay? Unconventional, and he has it in Scorpio. So these two make a square to each other, 18 degrees, 18 degrees. You don't see it with the line here because I didn't have that here, but it's definitely a sign to me that this person, he gets his freak on. Okay, so that's where I see the cross-dressing, the addiction to it, and also his non-binary sexual alliances. Now his moon is in Pisces, and this right here is Nemesis. And Nemesis represents the undoing, the Achilles heel, the better not seeking to place blame, scapegoating, finger pointing, identification of the enemy, fault, or source of the problem. As you can see, his Nemesis is conjunct his moon. So there's something about him, and especially in Sign of Pisces, this is a delusion that he feels as if he is right, or his true enemy was himself. He didn't really like parts about himself, and he projected it onto people that were prominent. I said it. Well, based upon his chart, one of the things that he really, really was good at was eating food and aggression. He was also known as to me personally, I feel like based upon his chart, that he would kill, that he has ordered. That's allegedly, by my opinion, based upon his chart. He also had in his sixth house of work Jupiter, Neptune, and Pluto. Now, with his Jupiter in the 29th degree in Gemini, that this man felt as if, because that's a master number, 2 plus 9 equals 11, that his work was to gather information, because Gemini rules information. And that was a great thing that he was doing for his community and for the greater good, because that's what Jupiter really wants. It wants the greater good. And because that happens, however, his Jupiter was in retrograde. So it was a little twisted. He also had Pluto in Gemini conjunct Neptune. The reason why he secretly, because secrets is represented by Scorpio, hid and lied and kept information. See, Neptune rules also, like we know, hidden information, hidden stuff, hidden information. So for his work, which is represented by the sixth house, he held it. He held information, secret information, tapped everybody's phones. That is, phones are connected to Gemini. Pluto representing control, Neptune representing hidden. So that's what he did. He literally did that thing. Okay. Now his MC, which represents the career, how he, how somebody will be seen in this world, is in the sign of Scorpio. Remember, I mentioned to you before that anybody that has a conspiracy or over them, or not just a conspiracy, the word I'm searching for is when, there is some sort of backlash to something you've done before. Okay. Scorpio on the MC or in the 10th house normally indicates some scandal. Now, not only did he tap, influential people, he also tapped politicians. Nobody could have fired this guy. Nobody. Everybody's afraid of this dude. He ruled with an iron fist. All of his friends and associates were high-ranking people because they had to be friends with him. They felt an obligation. Yeah, his friends wasn't his friends. His friends were tools based upon his chart. Okay. I know you guys probably have some questions as it pertains to J. Edgar Hoover's chart. I want to take this off. But all of a sudden, like I said before, if you have a child and they have Saturn conjunct the MC, if it's sitting in the 10th house conjunct the MC, that child that you have is going to leave a legacy. It may not be as strong or big, but that person is going to leave a legacy. If you have that placement, there's a legacy. There's not only that, if there's an aspect, not just conjunct, but if it's trine, this person will be able to leave a legacy. If it's sextile, legacy. If it's squared, conjunct, or opposition, there can be trouble with that legacy. It's according to what sign it's sitting in. And now you guys can see that astrology is very, very accurate. It can predict almost everything about what you're going to be, what you're going to do. Because he couldn't miss it. With his Sun conjunct his ascendant and his Saturn conjunct his ascendant, and the Saturn being the ruler of his first house, he had no choice but to rise to prominency and stay there for a very long time. But that is not the only virtue in this world, is to leave a legacy, or a legacy that everybody knows about. That's not just the virtue of existing on this earth. The virtue of existing on this earth is to fulfill your soul's purpose. I know some people feel as if it's supposed to be a great thing, like housing the FBI, or being a reformer like Martin Luther King Jr. But not all the time that is your purpose. Sometimes your purpose is directly connected to your partner, or your purpose is directly connected to you loving on yourself, or your purpose could be directly connected to feeling successful in a job, or some may have the purpose of acquiring money and separating it from its sense of self-worth. There are many different purposes that one may have. It is up to you to discover what that purpose is and to be okay with your success or your level of success without trying to measure it to the people around you. Sometimes our life purpose is so simple that we complicate it. We try to make it into something great because that is what they put before us that we need to be. I got to show you by looking over 200 plus thousand, 200 something thousand, 275, 200. I think I'm going on to 280, 287,000 now charts that I could assure you that your purpose could be so simple and right before you that you overlook it because it doesn't reflect in your monetary gain. You think that you're not fulfilling your purpose. I would say this: not everybody has chosen to be financially stable before they came here. Your biggest virtue is not just to be rich or to be comfortable. That is the virtue of the ego. The ego wants to be comfortable. The ego wants to be rich, unless that is your purpose in this lifetime. And I would advise you to either find somebody who has the ability to read your chart well enough to let you know that this is your purpose here, or learn the art yourself, which somebody like myself, and if you don't feel comfortable learning from me, there are others that teach astrology as well. It's not about me, it's not about them, it's all about you. And some people get a kick out going to a country and getting lost without using a GPS or a map and saying that I want to explore the island. I don't want no GPS or so and so. And, you know, sometimes that don't turn out right. Sometimes, you could turn out well and sometimes it doesn't. But in technological age that we're in, a GPS will get you there quicker, more safer. And efficiency is also a virtue. So by learning astrology or having somebody who learned astrology to help to guide you towards the process of experiencing your physical body as a soul, or your soul as a physical body, gaining this knowledge is important for you and also important for your children and your children's children and your children's children, because this information was suppressed from us even as human beings came off slave ships, even when they were indigenous to their own tribe. But now we're in a world where information is free and you can learn. You can learn from YouTube or learn from a professional like myself and others. I implore you, before the class start, sign up. You won't regret it. And you won't be guiding your children in the wrong way, because some of you parent every child the same, as if that is how you're supposed to parent each child. And you may be doing the job wrong. Or you could be doing it right. Like I said, you're navigating without a GPS with your children. It's be best to understand those children individually and apply specific parenting to each. I know, but people be like, no, will I be so and so? But I'd be biased. No, what you're doing is you're being smart. There's an old saying, if you knew better, you'd do better. All right, y'all. I want to say a very, very thank you to you guys. You are the MVP. For those who have the S to their chest, know that I appreciate you. And when we will pick back up with my tribe, who has the S to their name, we will pick back up with astrology when the astrology classes start. And that's on every other Wednesday. We will pick back up where we left. For those who want to join, you can join and learn astrology, or you can learn it and get a certificate through my course. And like I said, you guys are the MVP. I want to give y'all guys a round of applause. Thank y'all. And like I say, with J. Edgar Hoover, hating himself and projecting that onto the people who were fighting for the same things that he was. If you find yourself being the enemy of somebody who's of the same skin color of you, or even a different skin color, none of it is all false. You dig deeper within your soul, and many times over in previous lifetimes, you were probably white, or you were probably black, or you're probably Asian, or you're probably Hispanic. So this whole falsehood of this meat suit that we wear, some of you as you can see, we did about 3 or 4 different religious black leaders, and even their belief system, even the things that they did as opposed to what they said, were different. And these are the people that we're following and still projecting those things. We need to perform ourselves, look within ourselves, and move accordingly. All right, y'all. I want you guys to enjoy the rest of your day. You could have been anywhere, but you choose to be here with me. I appreciate you. Enjoy the rest of your night. Good night.